Welcome to English Grammar 2, Unit 56. Verbs followed by verb plus ing or to plus infinitive. We have already taken verbs followed by verb plus ing in one unit, and in the other unit we have taken verbs followed by to plus the base form. Today we are going to talk about verbs followed by both. But before that, we have here a review of previous units. So we start with part A. In part A, we have some verbs are followed by verb plus ing, and some are followed by to plus infinitive separately. So we are going to speak about the first category. Verbs usually followed by verb plus ing. We have already taken verbs like admit, avoid, consider, deny, enjoy, fancy, finish, imagine, keep, mind, postpone, risk, stop, and suggest. And we have already taken examples of these verbs. For example, I can say I avoid sitting in the street. Avoid here, the verb avoid here is followed by the verb plus ing. Another example, I consider doing PhD, or I consider continuing or completing my postgraduate studies. And here we speak about the verb consider followed by verb plus ing. The thief denied stealing the money. So here we have the verb denied followed by verb plus ing. She enjoys playing tennis, and here the verb enjoys followed by verb plus ing. Students finished writing reports. Here the verb finished is followed by verb plus ing. Would you mind opening the door? Here the verb mind is followed by verb plus ing. The company board postponed the meeting. Here the verb postponed. The company board postponed meeting today. So we have the verb postponed followed by verb plus ing. And he stopped smoking. The verb stopped is followed by verb plus ing. These are some examples. And on the other hand, we have verb followed by to plus the base form. For example, he agreed to play football with me. Here we have the verb agreed is followed by to plus the base form, to play. And she can't afford to buy the jacket. Here the verb afford is followed by to plus the base form. He failed to pass the exam. Here the verb failed is followed by to plus the base form. He decided to study English. Here the verb decided is followed by to plus the verb form. He deserves to be a doctor. Here the verb deserves is followed by to plus the base form. He learned or I learned to drive a car means here the verb learned followed by to plus the base form. He managed to solve the problem. Here we have the verb managed followed by to plus the base form. My friend offered to help me. Offered is followed by to plus the base form. I promised my uncle to visit him. Promised is followed by to plus the base form to visit. Etc. These are examples of verbs followed by verb plus ing, and on the other hand verbs followed by to plus the base form. Let's start with part B now. Some verbs can be followed by ing, verb plus ing or to plus the base form with a difference of meaning. Means here we speak about verbs which can be followed by both either verb plus ing or to plus the base form, but with some difference in meaning. For example, here we have the verb remember. I remember doing something means I did it and now I remember this. I did it in the past. I have already done the action in the past, but now I remember that I have already done the action. So you say you remember doing something after you have done it. For example, I know I locked the door. I have already locked the door in the past. I locked the door in the past and the action is done or was done. I clearly remember locking it now. So now I remember that I did the action in the past. So I say I remember locking. I use the verb remember followed by verb plus ing. Here it means I locked it, means I locked the door in the past, and now I remember this. That's all. He could remember driving along the road just before the accident, but he couldn't remember the accident itself. So he was driving along the road in the past, and now he remembered that he has already done the action that he was driving. So the action was already done in the past, and now he remembers that. That's why he says I remember this. I remember driving. He uses the speaker uses the verb remember followed by verb plus ing. So when you did the action in the past and you remember it now, so you say I remember doing. You use remember followed by verb plus ing to express this idea. On the other hand, you say I remember to do something. When you use the verb remember followed by to plus the base form, means you remember that you didn't do the action and you need to do it. The action is not done yet. You are supposed to do it. So you say, I remember to do something means I remember that I had to do it, so I did it. You remember to do something before you do it. Here is one example. I remember to lock the door, but I forgot to shut the window. So I remember to lock the door means, okay, I remember that I need to go back and I need to go and lock the door. I remember that I had to lock it, so I locked it. Please remember to post the letter. Means the action is not done yet, so we are speaking about the action to be done later on in the future. So we say, please remember to post the letter. The action was not done in the past, but still to be done in the future. That's why we say, remember to do, remember to post. Imagine you left your house and you locked the door, you closed the door. After leaving the house, in the way, when you arrived to the university, you started to think, did I close the door or not? And you remember that you closed the door. You have already closed the door. So you say, I remembered closing the door. You use verb plus ing. But if you remember that you did not close the door and you need to close it, you say, I remembered to close the door. Because still the action is not done and you need to do it. So when the action is done or finished, you use verb plus ing after the verb remember. And when the action is not finished and you are supposed to do it, you use to plus the base form after the verb remember. Another word or another verb, regret. We can use verb plus ing after regret, and we can use to plus the base form after regret. When we speak about something we have already done in the past, we use regret followed by verb plus ing. And here is the case. I regret doing something means I did it and now I am sorry about it. I now regret saying what I said. I shouldn't have said it. Suppose you, before 2 days or 3 days, you said something bad to your friend, and today you regret that. So you say, I regret saying what I said. Because you regret something you did in the past. So you use regret plus verb plus ing. Another example, it began to get cold and he regretted not wearing his coat. He did not wear his coat, and now when it began raining, he regretted. What did he regret? He regretted not wearing. So we use here verb plus ing after the verb regretted, because we speak about something that happened in the past. When we want to regret something now or in the future, we use to plus the base form after the verb regret. For example, I regret to say, or I regret to tell you, or I regret to inform you. Means I am sorry that I have to say now, etc. And this form is used in informal letters. This form is used in formal letters. For example, we say, we regret to inform you that we cannot afford you the job. When a company sends a letter to a candidate who applied for a job and tells him or her that they regret to inform him that they can't afford him or her the job. So they write this way: we regret to inform you that we cannot afford you the job. We regret something now or something in the future. So we use regret plus to plus the base form. Here again, we speak about regret, the verb regret. The verb regret, sorry, the verb regret here. I regret doing something, I did it, and now I am sorry about it. Means I did something in the past and now I am sorry about it. I know, I now regret saying what I said. I shouldn't have said it. This means, suppose you said something bad to your friend before 2 or 3 days, so and today you regret it, so you say I regret saying, because the action is already done in the past. So you say, you use regret followed by verb plus ing. So you say I now regret saying. You use verb plus ing after the verb regret. And the other example, it began to get cold and he regretted not wearing his coat. So he did not wear, the person here did not wear his coat. So when it began to rain, he regretted something he did in the past. So we say he regretted not wearing. We use the verb regretted followed by verb plus ing because he regrets something in the past. Something in the past. So we use verb plus ing after the verb regretted. On the other hand, we use the verb regret followed by to plus the base form. For example, I regret to say, I regret to tell you, or I regret to inform you. And here we regret something now, or we regret something in the near future, in the coming time. So we say I regret plus to plus the base form. And that means I am sorry that I have to say, etc. This kind of form is used in some formal letters. For example, when a company sends to a candidate who applied for the job to inform him or her that he or she cannot get the job. So they write this way: we regret to inform you that we cannot offer you the job. So here they regret something now and they cannot offer him or her the job. So they use regret plus to plus the base form. For the next verb here is go on. And go, go on is formed of two parts. One part is the verb go and the other part is the preposition. So we have a verb followed by a preposition, and naturally it is used, it is followed by verb plus ing. But we have here one other rule, exceptional, where you use to plus the base form. We use infinitive after the preposition, where you use infinitive after the preposition. For the first case, we speak about go plus on plus the preposition, and it is followed by verb plus ing, and here it means continue doing the same thing. If you are doing something and continue doing the same thing, we use the verb go plus on, the preposition on plus verb plus ing. Then we use verb plus ing after it. For example, the president paused for a moment and then went on talking. Went is the verb, the past of go, and followed by on, and talking is verb plus ing. And here we understand that the president stopped for some time. He was talking about something and stopped for some time and continued speaking about the same thing. So when he continued speaking about the same thing, then we use here the verb went plus on plus verb plus ing. Another example, we need to change. We can't go on living like this. We can't go on living like this. We can't go on living the same way we were living in the past. So we can't continue living the same way. So we speak about the same thing. So and we speak about continuing doing the same thing. So we use go plus on plus verb plus ing. So the sentence becomes like this: we need to change. We can't go on living like this. So we have here go on followed by verb plus ing because we speak about the same thing. What was before the verb is the same after the verb. On the other hand, we use the verb go on followed by to plus infinitive. And here, when we speak about something which is new or something which is different. For example, after discussing the economy, here the first part was discussing the economy. The president then went on to talk about foreign policy. So the topic before was discussing economy, and the topic after is different, which is foreign policy. Here, because the two topics are different, the two species are different, so we use the verb went on plus to plus the base form. So when you speak about two different things, you use the verb went or go on plus to plus the base form. When you speak of similar thing or when you continue doing similar things, then you use the verb go or went plus on plus verb plus ing. This is the rule. In case of go on plus verb plus ing, you speak about similar things or you do similar things. And in case of go on plus to plus infinitive plus to plus the base form, you speak about different things or you do different things. Part C. The following verbs can be followed by ing or to. Here in part C, we have some verbs which are followed by verb plus ing and or sometimes followed by to plus the base form, the same verbs, and there is no difference in meaning. We have the verbs begin, start, continue, intend, and bother. So you can say, for example, it has started raining. We have here the verb started and followed by verb plus ing. Or it has started to rain. Here we have the verb started followed by to plus the base form. So we speak here about verbs which take both verb plus ing or to plus the base form without difference of meaning. Second example, John intends buying a house or John intends to buy the house. to buy a house. So in the first sentence, John intends, the verb intends is followed by verb plus ing. And in the second sentence, John intends to buy a house. And the verb intends followed by to plus the base form infinitive. A third example, don't bother locking the door. We have the verb bother followed by verb plus ing, and it can be said this way: don't bother to lock, and here we have to lock the door, and here we have the verb bother is followed by to plus the base form as well, and there is no difference in meaning here. But normally we don't use ing, verb plus ing after verb plus ing. But mind one thing, don't use a verb plus ing followed by verb plus ing or after verb plus ing. It is start, for example, it is starting to rain. We say it is starting to rain. Here we have present continuous starting verb plus ing and the present continuous after the linking verb is, and what comes after starting? To rain. Though the verb start can take verb plus ing, but still here because the verb start is in the present continuous with the form of verb plus ing, so it took infinitive after it. So it is better to use infinitive. So we say it is starting to rain. We don't say it is starting raining. We don't say it is starting raining. That's all. Thank you.